Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kara here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having a great day. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the top 10 characters of Clan Boss. It's been a minute since I've updated this list, so I figured I'd bring out for 2020 May edition. Before we get into it, got a word from our sponsor, and then we'll get into the video. Are you tired of Polarium constantly limiting your multi-battle attempts? Are you sick of annoying things like sleep or work getting in the way of your efficiency? Well, no more with BlueStacks. BlueStacks is a powerful Android emulator with amazing features such as built-in macros, multiple instance functionality, and much more. So how would I even set this up? It's as simple as pressing the macro record button on the right, press record new macro, your desired macro, and finally save on the top of the screen. It's that easy. You know, actually, I don't even really want to bother with setting up my own macros. Don't want to create your own macros? No problem. Easy access to a community filled with pre-made macros across many titles made for all kinds of situations. So what are you waiting for? Check out the link down below to download BlueStacks today. My picks are for the 10 best characters in the game when it comes to Clan Boss, but these 10 are not going to be in any particular order. Just because since there's conflicting roles and stuff, it's just too hard to actually break it down from there. Plus, it's all subjective, and it's all, I mean, even a list in general is normally not, ideal for a game like this. But when it comes to, when you narrow it down at least a little bit, I think it's possible. First character we got, it's going to be Vizier. Reason why he's so good is his A1. Why he makes the list of the best Clan Boss characters is what he's by far the best at what he does. His particular role is going to be a character that provides debuff extension, and he does it in a way that no other character can do. He's able to apply the debuff extension significantly more than characters that can do the same move. For example, Warlord or Septimus. Like, they could do it, and you can kind of, it happens here and there, very RNG dependent. Whereas with him, his odds are significantly better on his 3-hit 50% chance A1. So you can really rely on it, and people are able to build teams around the fact that now they can just bring a poisoner that happens to just be a really good character for survivability or something. Like Beck comes to mind. You can bring Steel Skull comes to mind, where he's a character does okay poisons, but then now you can make him your absolute #1 damage dealer because you have him. Easily makes the list. Class of his own when it comes to characters, when it comes to Clan Boss. If not the best Clan Boss character, he's up there. I think him and Valkyrie are probably the best. If I had to give you my choices, like the #1 character for Clan Boss. For another top 10 character for the Clan Boss is going to be Altan here. What makes him so good is when you compare him to the field with what he does, he just does it so much better. So it's going to be, he's an attack down character that not only provides attack down, he does the most damage by far. Before Sentinel came out, he was just clearly head and shoulders above everyone. When it came to this particular role, for example, Tyrell doesn't has a decreased defense versus an increased defense, and for a character like this, you want the survivability versus a decreased defense. That's significantly less rare to be able to provide that. When it comes to raw damage, Altan provides way more. Whereas nowadays, there's Sentinel, which provides the attack down and the increased defense, but on a 4-turn instead of a 3-turn version, and hits significantly less hard. Also has a way more unreliable attack down than Altan. That's why he makes this list as one of the top 10 best Clan Boss characters in the game. Easily separates himself from the pack when it comes to this particular role when you're talking about Clan Boss. Now we're going to get into the debuffer / poisoner category. A little torn on this. Ideally, I would have put just Dracomorph as the by far best poisoner / debuffer in the game, but I am also going to put Venus in this category. It's just the difference between the two damage-wise is massive. But there is a couple pros and cons of each one. Mainly being going to be the affinity bonus, the affinity issue of facing force. Whereas Venus doesn't have that issue, so it does a very similar kit, but more reliable. Whereas with Draco, you have that issue there. But even that, he doesn't really get affected by a crazy amount, which someone normally would, because his A3 that applies the decrease defense and weaken doesn't even do damage. So it's just going to pass an accuracy check. That 30% weak hit chance doesn't apply to it. So even in the situations where he's at a weaker affinity, so he maybe can take more aggro for a punch or something, he's still really not getting that bad of a deal in those situations, whereas most characters would. So it's like he's already amazing, and even when he's weak, he's still a good version of that being weak. So easily makes this list. And then from what I've seen, unkillable damage numbers, like 50 turns, Dracomorph popping off. Usually I'm seeing like 21 million, 25 million, just crazy damage numbers. Whereas with Venus, I've seen the gear, I've close, but not as good gear, but I'm getting like 11 million. Like it's just it's not even close, not even in the same ballpark of damage when it comes, if you're trying to compare Venus to Dracomorph. Pretty much going to be the main difference is going to be the affinity thing. Well, it's even really not that big of a deal. I mean, it could be if you're doing like an unkillable thing and then there's no one else to tank the hit, but usually if you're doing like double man-eater, that's not going to be an issue. Bring up, even though I'm putting Venus and Dracomorph at this spot, I do want to say that this is also covering Venus. Venus is on the list in the top 10, but I want to put a big caveat that Dracomorph just hits massively harder for this particular, what's going on, or for what these characters are trying to do. I think they both deserve to be here because not only they're the only characters in the game that do the increase weaken and also are a poisoner. They're kind of in a class of their own there. If you had to choose between the two, I think for Clan Boss specifically, I think I'm picking Dracomorph every time, damage-wise. Speaking of unkillable, that segues me in to Rashkard and Man-Eater. Both of these are very popular characters for unkillable. Really not much to say about them except for the fact that they're the only characters that really allow you to do this. Yes, you're going to need a supporting cast around them. Skullcrusher is going to be a popular one with Rashkard here. With Man-Eater, a really popular one to use with Man-Eater is Man-Eater. So there's that. When it comes to the, like, also you can do the same thing with Rashkard, but it's significantly rarer to pull double Rashkard. Also, another benefit that I like with Man-Eater versus Rashkard is the built-in block debuffs buff with him versus Rashkard. It's just the block damage. Every single one of them has their own speeds they require, different aggro situations where you have to, the Man-Eater version is going to take more damage. This version's not going to take damage, so you got to try to find the aggro. But big thing is they definitely deserve to be on this list. If you're one of the two characters in the entire game that can make a team unkillable or a block damage style team, they definitely deserve to be in the top 10 category of a character. I know it's kind of boring, but I think for this top 10, all the counterattack characters deserve to be on this list. They're all useful in their own ways. Instead of one character being better than the other, they're all just different, but still very good. If I had to pick one character out of all of these that I think is the best, I'm going to go with Valkyrie because she has something incredibly unique when it comes to her shield. No other character provides a shield like that. Especially while being combined on one of the best moves in the game, which is counterattack. So not only are you getting the biggest shield in the game, but you're also getting the best move in the game, which is team-wide counterattack. So if I had to choose, I'm going to go with Valkyrie. But reason why the other characters deserve to be on this list is because Martyr, for example, let's go to her. Reason why I think Martyr is good is she doesn't have that extreme niche that Valkyrie has, whereas Valkyrie has that shield that no one can really replicate besides her. Whereas what she makes up for it, though, is that she is very good at covering all your bases when it comes to a Clan Boss team. Not only does she have the counterattack, but then she has increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, which is incredible. So that in combination too with a decreased attack. So she's going to make sure you at least have you're going to check all the very important boxes you need for your Clan Boss team, which when you're just starting out or kind of in that mid game, that could be really hard to do. But a lot of times you're going to see a Valkyrie in a super in-game version of a Clan Boss team because she's providing something that no one can do besides her. And then they're just going to find increased defense and decreased attack in some other way. So that's kind of why you see that. But I do think Martyr is incredibly good. Obviously one of the best characters in the game, but that's kind of when it comes specifically for Clan Boss, that's kind of the difference there. So then lastly, out of the counterattacks, we have Skullcrusher. Reason why I think he also deserves to be on this list is just because of how many good pairings he has with unkillable comps. And also it's just, counterattack is just that good. Unfortunately, I wish there was a way around it, but counterattack's amazing. And you're having unkillable and you're having ally protection with unkillable, a great pairing because he could literally die, for example, take that much damage. But since he has the unkillable, he's going to take more damage than anyone, that he realistically could, and then try to heal that back up with lifesteal, for example. So incredibly good kit, good pairing with Rashkard for unkillable comps. Just overall, a very good character that, for example, if you tried to do this same thing with Valkyrie or with a Martyr, then you're not going to get that debuff cleanse. You're not going to get the unkillable. So potentially you can wipe. Whereas with him, you wouldn't. Definitely on paper, you would see, because he's not applying counterattack on himself, doesn't do all the other things that they do. You might be like, okay, he's the worst out of the two. It makes sense because he's epic. But in my opinion, I think he's just different. He's not worse. He's just different. Last for the list is going to be Krisk here. I think obviously a great character, really hard to pull a Void Legendary. But cool thing about him is looking at his kit. Not only does he provide a lot of, he provides utility, but he provides a wide range of different buffs for your team. So if you look here, his A2 here has ally protection, and normally when you have an ally protection move, it comes built in with some kind of protection, like self-protection. For him, he has usually when you have it's either continuous heal or a shield. So he has continuous heal, but not only does he have continuous heal, he gets 2 continuous heals, and he increases the buffs on all characters, which is an incredibly rare move that when you combine with all that, like normally an incredibly strong move, but then you combine it with the increased buffs, that's just one of the best moves in the game. Also, I do want to mention he has fantastic base stats for what he's trying to do. He has incredibly high HP and he has incredibly high defense. Normally you would have one or the other. So him having both is actually pretty awesome, especially for what he's trying to do. It really fits his kit as a really tanky character that's trying to keep your team alive. Next, his A3 here. His A3, specifically when it comes to Clan Boss, the provoke portion doesn't matter, even though that's an incredibly powerful ability for like Arena, for example, on a 3-turn cooldown. It's just nuts. But he's doing increased defense on himself and then increased speed on everyone else. So that's what, going back to what I was saying about him providing a whole bunch of different buffs. Normally characters only have like 1 buff or 2 buffs, like two different self buffs, whereas he's doing a continuous heal. He's doing ally protection. He increases his own defense. He's increasing speed, and on top of that, with his passive, a guaranteed when hit, decreased attack and decreased defense. So he's providing a whole bunch of buffs and debuffs for the team while keeping them up. Amazing character, deserves to be on the list. Super awesome character. I want to say, lastly, honorable mention. I want to say Tyrant here. Very good character when it comes to survivability. Not only does he provide a relatively rare debuff in HP burn, but he's provides self-healing against characters with HP burn. And then on this move here, he's providing ally protection plus increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, which is amazing, especially when compared to when you combine it with characters that have like shield buffs, for example. And then lastly, he has a 10%, like on his passive, 10% reduced damage flat for characters that are attacking with HP burn. So amazing way of providing even more durability for your team, which is, I believe he's one of the only characters that just has that flat reduction just built into the kit. Other people would provide that flat reduction with like Perfect Veil or Veil. So incredible character for Clan Boss. I like the combination of him. Like I was thinking about putting another honorable mention for Duchess, but I think Duchess really excels in other parts of the game when it comes specifically for Clan Boss. I think Tyrant's better, even though they're kind of similar because they both do reduce damage. She's doing it with Perfect Veil. He's doing it with just the HP burn part. He's going to do a lot more damage because he's applying the HP burn. He has the increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, plus the ally protection. All of his cooldowns are just cleaner on a 3-turn versus Duchess is on like 4-turn cooldowns. So it's like, that's why I didn't put her on here, for example. Whereas with him, I think he deserves to be honorable mention. Really good character. Hopefully, if you guys pull him. At first, when I saw him, I was like, okay, he's just like a spider killer. As I've been seeing more and more of him, I think he's really awesome for Clan Boss. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for my list. The top 10 characters in the game when it comes to Clan Boss. Let me know down in the comments below if there's any characters I missed that you think should be on here. And with that, you guys have a good one. Peace.